Alright, we're actually on the road now. This is going to be a very different video today. I'm in this 2017 Subaru STI. And of course, STIs come with manual transmissions. Now, today's video was going to be about going to pick up my buddy, taking a cruise. Turned out to be a shitty rainy day, which I was specifically trying to avoid for this video, but whatever, shit happens. So now, I'm going to talk about driving a manual transmission through Los Angeles rush hour traffic. And a motorcycle, I don't feel really any way about traffic. Doesn't bother me that much when you can, lane split your way through it. But even though I'm still driving a manual, lane splitting is not an option, which is a real shame. And I've washed this car like 3 times, and then it always just starts raining again. That's life. That's what all the people say. Basically a rally stage driving through Los Angeles at rush hour. The roads are terrible. Pedestrians pop out in front of you, and cyclists. There's no rules. Big bump there. That's another thing about Los Angeles. You finally get your fun car. Relatively, this is not even lowered. This is bone stock. You can barely pull in a gas station or your own driveway without wrecking your front bumper. That's city life, I guess. What a shame. I'm still having fun. I'm about 5-10 minutes in. This is going to be a 2-hour journey today, so I don't know if I'll film all of it. I'm sure it'll get boring once I do have to go on the highway. But I did drive this car to San Diego, and that was great. There was not that much traffic there on the way. Probably should have gone through that one. There wasn't that much traffic going to San Diego or coming back. So that was a 2-hour drive, but that was no problem. Car got about 25 miles a gallon, 24 miles a gallon, which isn't 30, but it's certainly better than 20, I guess. It was getting really bad mileage in town. It's like 14, it says, in town. In the top gear is geared really short. It is a 6-speed close ratio transmission, and you can feel how close that 6th gear is when you're on the highway, and it is still screaming. Damn, excuse me. It is a 6-speed close ratio transmission. You can feel how tight that 6th gear is when you're on the highway, and it is still screaming away at 3,500 RPM. All right, still smiling. Life is good. Okay. First thing I've forgotten about, since I haven't driven a stick in so long. Rollback. Obviously, it's real. And you don't really forget about it. But every time I actually catch myself rolling back at a stoplight, I'm like, makes my butt pucker a little bit. Because there is always somebody right there behind you. I can see the highway now, and they are not moving very fast. That being said, I'm not either. Gosh, I do love driving a stick though. When I first started driving this car, I had it for about a month while I fixed a couple of things on it, like an exhaust leak, power steering leak, which I didn't actually fix myself, but it got done. I was burning a lot of clutch because I'm not used to driving turbo cars. And even though this is a relatively small turbo, it's factory turbo, there's still definitely noticeable turbo lag. I have an S2000, there is zero lag. You hit the gas, it does what you say. And I even want to put a lighter flywheel on that. But I could not get the friction zone right for a week probably. And then I noticed the different drive modes. This actually has different, I say drive mode, it's just a more aggressive throttle, I think is all it changes. You know, it's a manual transmission car. It's not like they can change how hard it shifts with the computer. I can, of course. But there's SI drive, intelligent drive, and sports sharp. And I actually like, the intelligent drive. This is separate from setting the diff to be loose or tight or whatever. I just leave that in auto. I put it in the least aggressive throttle mode, and it definitely smooths out the huge jump in power you get when the turbo kicks in. When I was, revving it up to like just a little bit to get rolling, well, just that little bit is when the turbo starts to light, and so I was getting all this power coming in at the same time. I'm only letting the clutch out a little bit, and it was making me look like an amateur there for about a week. Once I figured out the gentle throttle mode, I much prefer this for just everyday driving. I don't need to be in sport mode going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not more fun that way. I'm just saying I don't need to burn the clutch in my buddy's car for now. However, there was a time before the power steering was fixed. There was some rain, and I went for a drive, and just the mechanical feedback this car gives you from the all mechanical four-wheel drive system is incredible. I never was a big rally guy growing up. In fact, if I had to pick between the STI and the Evo back in the day, I probably would have gone, Evo 8. But I've never actually driven one of those. Now that I've been here, this four-wheel drive system is impressive. I would love to actually go to a rally school or something and be able to drive one of these in, on dirt or snow or grass, something, with the traction control turned off. I bet it is an incredible experience, because already you go around an aggressive turn in second gear, like let's say you hit a light, you hit a left turn in second gear and you get back on the gas, you can feel the differentials lock back up and the car just rotate. You can also feel when they're too tight, the car kind of wants to bounce a little bit. And it's very satisfying. Just the car actually telling you what's going on underneath. You can also tell this car, not made to be a race car, that's not the right term, but it definitely feels lighter than a lot of other modern cars that I've driven recently. Like, these seats are much more business-like. The doors are thinner. It's not really loud. It's not like there's excessive wind noise or anything, but it feels sportier. It feels lighter. It's light on its feet. It's agile. It's got the, super fast steering rack. All those things really do make it fun to drive. But just the way the car tells you what's happening under each tire, and you can sort of feel which tire it is, because each one is directly connected to a piece of metal coming back to the drivetrain and up through the transmission. It is really an impressive thing. Humans and their tools. We are kind of good at it. All right, hour and 37 minutes left. and it's been 20 minutes, so we are just chugging along. There we go. Now I can see my directions. The interesting thing about shooting a YouTube video specifically about being in traffic is that I can't listen to music. That's too bad. It's alright. Eventually this will start rolling. I mean, I hope eventually this will start rolling. We'll find out. I mean, I'm not in stop and go traffic on the highway. I'm just in regular heavy city traffic. Manual transmission not bothering me at all yet. I definitely had some thoughts. In fact, I think I even called my dad when I drove this home for the first time because I was in really bad highway traffic. And it was getting to me. Oh, it's nice though. Just rolling through the gears. I miss it, honestly. I miss it. There was a time when I thought everything I owned had to be manual, even my truck, because my first truck was a manual transmission Toyota. And so even that, you know, was on the table. But after getting stopped in enough traffic on coming back and forth between the racetrack, or going back and forth between the racetrack, see, it's a little jerky first gear when you're just crawling along. That's that short ratio transmission. It's like the gear is super short, the turbo's really small, and all the power comes in right when you let the clutch out. If this was your car, I'm sure you could adjust and learn how to drive it in the sport mode. I did, but it did take a while. As soon as you let the clutch out, you're back on the brake. All right, here we go. Now we're in it. I used to talk shit about Lamborghini drivers when Lamborghini got rid of the manual transmission. There ain't no way. Ain't no way somebody would drive a manual transmission Lamborghini through this traffic on a Monday in the rain. Still got four-wheel drive, probably. You could. You could also drive an Audi R8 with an automatic. Probably be a lot more comfortable. Yikes. Oh look, the sun's coming out. Must be over the mountain now. Wow, okay, so now this road surface has a bunch of little imperfections on it. I can feel all of them coming through the wheel. Gosh, that's nice. I know you guys have seen me drive, you know, trucks and electric cars recently, SUVs, but this is what I actually like. This is what I'm into. Everything else is just trying to get back to here. Why do I need a pickup truck? To bring my motorcycle to the racetrack. Why do I need four-wheel drive? To go snowboarding. Why do you need a manual transmission? Oh, look at this. Smile on my face. Sun's coming out. What a day. What a Monday in California. Look at this fucking guy just sends the Range Rover. Wow. It's aggressive out here, boys. rush hour is not for the faint of heart. Oh my God, now this fucking Range Rover who just ripped a righty doing a U-turn in the middle of the street. Wild. Now we're in traffic. Missed the fun section because my GoPro died. 20% battery left now. Should I just let it run? It'll probably overheat again. Alright, well, it's been an hour. I still got the smile on my face. I really like driving this car. I don't know if I would buy one, but if you ever get the chance, absolutely give it a shot. The mechanical differentials and four-wheel drive setup they got going on here is real nice if you're into that sort of thing. We are over the mountain. I have never actually driven all the way over the mountain on the side streets before. That's the first time I've ever done that. That's wild. The one thing I will say about this car that is nice is that it is actually possible to work on it. The spark plugs are probably easier to do from underneath the car than on top, but everything is possible. Even the power steering, which I don't have a lift, power steering was underneath the car, and the steering rack had to come out, which was a real shame. So I didn't have to do that, luckily. But if you have a lift, it is possible. It's not overly complicated. In 5 minutes, I found a YouTube video going, you know, step by step, exactly on this year or this generation. And I do appreciate that. You know, it does. This car has a turbo on it, but just because it has a turbo doesn't mean it has to be excessively complicated. I get it. I see why people like these. Oh, highway entrance. Gosh, there's so much feedback. The tires start squealing. Before they lose grip, you let you know you're at the threshold. One day I'll grow up and entrance ramps won't be so much fun, but not today. That's why we drive a manual right there, boys. Well, the hard part's over. I'm in the Malibu Mountains now. I made it through all of the side street commuting, little highway jaunt there. And you know what? I still love the manual transmission. My smile is bigger now because I feel like I conquered, not the road, but I kind of thought this video was going to go the other way. I thought I was going to get here and be like, yeah, no shot. You know, have a second weekend car, which this is somebody's second car. Have a second weekend car and, you know, just putter around town with an automatic. Today's a Monday. I was in rush hour traffic. I was in the rain. Following a Prius. I'm literally just rolling down this hill in neutral. That's alright. It's definitely still rush hour. Oh, the twisty bits. I will admit, my least favorite thing about this car is the pedal box. I'm sure you could adjust, but the way the pedals are set up and where the friction zone is in the clutch, I could not heel and tow this car to save my life. I've gotten a few good ones in there, but it really, in that spot, which is too bad because that's generally braking, it does not inspire confidence. That's really the only bad thing I have to say about it, but that's more me. That's just a personal preference, you know? It's not really a bad thing about the car. It's just the size of my feet not fitting. I found this little pull-off here. I took some thumbnails. I think I'm just going to end it off now. GoPro's already overheated once. It's about to die. I'm happy with how this video turned out. I was a little nervous that my age was going to get the better of me by the end of that 2 hours, and I was just going to be pissed with this whole situation and not want to drive a stick anymore. But you could totally make this your only car, and it's no problem. I would maybe not want to be in traffic every single day in it. That's my age showing a little bit. But I love it. I mean, it's got 4 doors, it's got a big wang, it's got 6 close gears, you know, and it puts a smile on your face. The mileage isn't too bad. It drops when you put your foot in it, but that's the price we pay for the smile. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hot rod everything. Thank you. Well, in the immortal words of Frank Sinatra, that's life. That's what all the people say.